Righty. So, episode 3 of The Rings of Power. We start with Rondir, who's been enslaved by the orcs. Not much happens. Galadriel wakes up on a Numenorian boat, meets Elendil, who happens to have her dagger. Apparently, he steals her dagger, or Halbrand steals her dagger back for her. He gets a history lesson from Elendil, or no, from Galadriel. And then they're taken to Numenor to meet Pharazôn and Miriel, the Queen Regent, who's kind of being a bitch to Galadriel, which she wouldn't normally do, being one of the faithful herself, or those that still are faithful to the Valar and the Elves. But I think she's just doing this for appearances. Pharazôn definitely would be a bitch, or an asshole, because he's one of the king's men, because he is the king, even though right at this point he's not king. We're introduced to Elendil. It's implied that he only has a son, but we do find out, of course, we meet his daughter, and it is revealed that he does have another son. And then there's a conversation between Elendil and Miriel, who's told to watch over Galadriel. And he's presented with the sword, which I'm guessing is a Narsil. And then we find out that her father is the king, that he was deposed, which does not happen. That's not how the kings of Numenor lose power. They know that death is approaching, so they give it up to their heir, and the heir becomes king or queen. Miriel does not become queen because Pharazôn ends up forcing her to marry him, and he takes the throne. And that's what really happens, which we'll see later on in the show. But, it doesn't say that Miriel never ruled. Well, yeah, it kind of does. You're contradicting the lore, which obviously I don't care about. Then we go back to Arondir, and his friends who are all with him. One of them is killed by the orcs. They all eventually die except Arondir. There's way too much exposition that goes on. Like, the episode's very slow. Not really much happens. Because they keep talking, we get all these history lessons, which is great for us fans, and I think that's what they're going for. And too many callbacks to Lord of the Rings, too many member berries, just like in the last 2 episodes. It's weird. Galadriel escapes, rides with Elendil to some kind of library. And then they find out that the symbol Galadriel is looking to find the meaning behind. It's like the Mark of Sauron or whatever. It's a map of Mordor, which I kind of guessed. And then we see Halbrand talking to Smith or whatever. And then these dudes try to beat him, gang up on him or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'll pay for all beer, or a round of beers for everybody. I guess so that, there's no fighting or whatever. But they do eventually gang up on him later, these same people. Because he stole something from one of them. Like what you call it, some kind of symbol thing that he was wearing. Really didn't understand what was going on. And then more Galadriel and Elendil. More Harfoots were on the move. Nori's father Largo is kind of holding them back because he's injured. More Meteor Man. And some more boring stuff happens. It looks like they're trying to go for Meteor Man being Gandalf, which is wrong. He doesn't show up until the Third Age. Tolkien made that clear. It's in the books that you're able to draw from. So maybe he's not Gandalf. I think he's one of the Blue Wizards, probably. From what I hear, what happens at the very end of the season, it does seem like, yes, he's a Blue Wizard. And this is this show's version of Gandalf, but isn't really Gandalf. And of course, at the end, Arondir attempts to escape from the orcs, and they sick a warg on him. This is when, his friends are killed. And then he's taken to this mysterious figure called Adar. It ends with Adar, but you don't really see his face. It's all blurred. But I already know who's playing him. The actor that's playing him, and I kind of have an idea what he looks like. He's really not that really not interesting. Kind of boring. The show's very slow paced, way too slow paced. The first season just seems like they dick around a lot. Nothing really happens. Again, it's not that great. I think it is the best episode so far this season. Not saying much. The show really is just. Maybe it picks up later. We'll find out. But I'm thinking season 2, they are going to have to do some recasting and get better writers. Otherwise, I don't really see the show lasting 5 seasons like they're supposed to, but we'll see. But yeah, pretty much all I have to say about that.